But before we get, you want to go to that, or you want to talk about this Eminem record? No, fuck that. I want to talk about this Eminem record. Get this out the way.
And this is where you find out that Coop is not the owner of According to Hip Hop, because I think everybody knows where I wanted to go. Right? Come on, no. Let's get it out the way.
Let's
Can I
just
say
get it out
something
the
right?
way, man. I mean, no, if you don't want to talk about the Eminem record, we'll have to.
No. See, it's one of those things where I feel like it's gotten to the point where people are trying to bait you into saying something racist, and I know that you're not going to. I just don't like the whole dynamic of it at play anymore. And but also too, I don't like how the narrative keeps getting like changed to behoove and to befit him at the same time either.
What do you mean?
Like he's on an Elvis soundtrack.
Oh, you're getting to the story. All right, let's get to the story.
Right, but no. Let's get to who he's working with, because I don't. That's the. Go ahead.
All right. Well, it was announced today that Eminem is going to be releasing a single. I think it's going to be a Thursday night or Friday morning, AM, whatever. It's going to be on the Elvis Presley soundtrack for Elvis Presley's new biopic, and the song features CeeLo Green. Song is called "The King and I." So I just found it interesting that we're gonna get new music from Eminem this Friday. Be able to talk about that. We haven't gotten Eminem and CeeLo combination before. That should be interesting. But what's the most interesting to me? First of all, I don't know what that sounds like anyway. So sonically, I don't know where this is going. And then it's called "The King and I." And then it's on an Elvis Presley soundtrack. I have no idea what this record's gonna sound like, guys. It's
so here's where it's very problematic.
Somebody said they heard it already. It's dope.
Okay, it's probably because of CeeLo on the hook, probably. What?
Where y'all hear that shit at? Let me find.
No, also decide what other hip hop artists. No, what other hip hop artists gets to be on an Elvis album on a song called "The King and I"? Like, what other hip hop artist is getting this type of treatment?
Well, Sway Lee and Diplo's on there. Doja Cat's on there.
I'm gonna say it again, and you're gonna show me an MC next time.
Nardo Wick has a song on there. "Product of the Ghetto."
On an Elvis soundtrack?
On the Elvis soundtrack.
Is Nardo Wick from Memphis?
I don't think so. Denzel Curry is from Florida. I know that. He's on the soundtrack as well.
So this is a rap soundtrack for Elvis?
Well, there's a lot of people on this. You got Jasmine Sullivan on there. You got people of all genres on here.
Okay.
So, I mean, does that feel any better in that way?
No, it does. No, it makes me feel much better.
Okay.
Like, other people are getting like some run, like attached to Elvis's name, like behind this. So is this an Interscope thing?
Good question. Let's see.
No, you have to ask questions like this.
It is a RCA Sony thing. So no, maybe somewhere down the line. I don't know who owns who right now, but the Truest with the super chat says Adrenaline Rush brought the Go back top 10 album. You know what, man? Adrenaline Rush did a lot for Chicago, man. And shout out to my people in Chicago. I was just talking to my man Billa the other day, man. We got some big things going on in Chicago coming up too. All right, well, this soundtrack is
RCA Epic Eras too. No, they're pretty big. Okay. They've absorbed, yeah. They got Columbia, RCA,
they own
Epic,
all of it?
Arista, Sony.
Okay.
So that would be where it's all coming from. They have so many different other, there's so many ties going under that label. They can throw everybody in the pot and mix them up. So I don't feel as bad about it. No, I don't feel as bad about it now.
You know what? This is the thing, man. I wasn't a huge Elvis fan growing up. My dad used to, me and my dad used to watch those Elvis movies, right? But I respect Elvis's talent per se, and he was a crossover rock star, like like I would say he is the first modern pop star. Is that fair?
It is fair.
Because before that, we're talking about more so Frank Sinatra, and that's more of a classical era. But as far as like what we know of a pop star being today, that starts with Elvis. And
Okay, so
so
that
I
would be
just
that. So and therein lies my problem with Elvis.
well, this soundtrack, I want to hear it first. But based on the names on here, do you think that Elvis fans are happy with this lineup?
Well, that's why I was like, well, I feel a certain type of way. Like, my mood is different about the Eminem contribution because there are other hip hop and R&B artists that are being given the same run. Because my original thought was that, oh, is this going to be the only rap artist on this album? Because this doesn't play to the Elvis lover demographic at all.
The King and I. Jay Short with the super chat says, well, at least black artists are finally getting to sing their own songs on Elvis album. Just saying. Shout out to the Chitlin Circuit. That is a good way to look at it. We're in a time now where I guess nobody can really complain about it because now that the black artists get to actually sing his songs.
Well, that's what I mean. Is that like when you call them the first pop star, Mike, and I'm thinking, well, that's because a black person could never be that in those times.
No, definitely. I mean, James Brown would have definitely had his spot. You really want to sit James Brown here on the stage and Elvis here on the stage?
You don't want to play those games.
You don't want to do that.
You want to play those games? You want to play those games?
LP says F. Elvis.
I don't know if Chris Brown
want
to play those games, Mike. I don't know if Chris Brown want to.
We're gonna talk about
games.
Chris Brown in a minute too, because everybody out here spreading these narratives that Chris Brown's more talented than Michael Jackson. I'm tired of these people doing this stuff. LP says F. Elvis and John Wayne. I'm interested to see what this biopic's gonna look like, and I'm very interested to hear what this Eminem song is gonna sound like. And I know y'all probably thought I was gonna get on here and just start bashing Eminem. That's not where I'm coming from with it. But I did think about that line, and I'm sure you did too. The whole, though I'm not the first king of controversy, I am the worst thing since Elvis Presley to do black music so selfishly and use it to get myself wealthy. Here's a concept that works. 20 million other white rappers emerge, but no matter how many fish in the sea be so empty without me. He's mentioned Elvis, throughout his career, and I'm interested to see where he's gonna go on this record, and especially when you got somebody like CeeLo on this record. I'm kind of interested to hear where CeeLo's going too, because CeeLo on Soul Food and Still Standing, and even some of his solo stuff after. Very black righteous individual, very knowledgeable individual, and very respectful to soulful music from the dirt, man. And so this is a very interesting combination. It's an interesting title. I'm totally interested, and I might be more interested in the content than the sonics of it. Brian said, "Spit an Eminem verse with more soul, Mike." It's how he said it, man.
This guy, Adam Price, is in our chat talking about Elvis. Adam Price is his name. Elvis stole nothing. Knock it off with the lies. You see what I'm saying? This is why we have to audit it, because we got people like.
What do you mean Elvis stole nothing?
Shut your ass up. Shut up.
Hey man, that's just untrue.
He stole everything. He literally stole the hip jerk, his whole swag. He stole the whole swag.
But Elvis is dope.
He stole everything, even the outfits.
See, I don't know much about that. See, this is why I like documentaries as opposed to biopics, because I'm pretty sure in this biopic, a lot of things are gonna get left out. Dad, Coop went out again. You there?
I'm here. Can you see me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay.
They said I went extra and took the soul out of that verse. I don't have to try hard, man. I was reading the comments in one of our posts, man, and I think it was the one we were talking about Eminem and DMX, right? And maybe I shouldn't have even used DMX as an example because I just got berated with these comments from certain people calling me a racist. But
That's what they do.
it's more of a feel, right? Like I was telling Coop, I've been listening to Beastie Boys all day and yesterday. There is
Mm-hmm.
nothing that Eminem has that makes me feel like Car Thief.
Nope.
I mean, I played Car Thief like 3 times a day. When they took that Jackson 5 version of I Betcha and they flipped that shit, like between that, Hold It Now, What You Want, it's nothing that he has in his catalog, in my opinion, that makes me want to play that stuff. It has nothing to do with anybody being white, whatever, whatever. The Beastie Boys, in my opinion, I think are one of the most underappreciated hip hop groups of all time. And it's funny to say that because they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They sold so many records, but when we talk about hip hop and we talk about impactful groups or great groups, we never mention the Beastie Boys in the ways that we should. Ryan Gillum says, "Who do you guys think Will Smith can have a good versus battle with?" I don't know, man. That's tough. Heavy D, rest in peace. Scooby Media Entertainment says Eminem was called the hip hop Elvis. Has he embraced that totally? Because he called himself that. Kyrie Pilgrim says Elvis holds swag as Jackie Wilson. Stop it. Facts.
Hello.
You know what? I don't know what I was watching, man, but
The wardrobe. That's what I'm saying. Like all those vests.
Jackie Wilson Higher came on, and I was like, man, Jackie Wilson was that nigga, man.
Hold on. But then Jackie Wilson used to wear the little vest with the in the long sleeve shirt.
Jackie Wilson
like
was Michael
Elvis?
Jackson before Michael Jackson.
Like hold on. But Mike, like Elvis used to wear, like with the vest and to match with the shirt. Right. Talking about where you get the outfit from, Nick.
Well, Elvis
couldn't
outdance Jackie Wilson and couldn't outsing Jackie Wilson or outperform him altogether. So, you know, one of the funniest, I don't want to say funny, it might not be funny, but one of the more interesting things I remember, it was the MTV Awards. It was later, I want to say it might have been when Britney was making one of her comebacks, and she performed, and it was bad. And Beyonce came on right after her and just turned everything upside down. And I'm sitting here thinking about the days in TRL when Britney was the one that was treated like she was the prime talent. And Beyonce would get have to go through the back door. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing, man. And that's one thing you can't do. You can't front on sheer talent because when it gets put side by side, we know what it is. And I'm bringing that up to say I think that Elvis benefited from a lot of that during the time when black artists just weren't able to be on those same stages. And it's kind of one of those Babe Ruth things too, man. I've heard people say that about Babe Ruth, where it's like, you know what, you didn't compete against everybody. So you can't be the GOAT if you didn't compete against all of the competition around. There was a whole nother league out there. There was a whole nother realm of talented baseball players that weren't allowed to actually play against you. Just saying.
You ain't graded. Look here. If didn't nobody black or brown throw you the ball, no. No. You out. You out the conversation. You out the conversation. The black and brown people throw the ball to you. Then you out the conversation.
I will say this, man. Babe Ruth was very far ahead of his peers. But his peers were limited.
Bonds.
His peers were limited.
I'm about to say, so was Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player of all time. So
correct.
It is what it is.
Everybody. He hit black people. He hit white people. He hit Puerto Rican and Dominican people. He hit people who took steroids. He hit people who did not take steroids.
Yeah.
He hit everybody.
And you know what? And if people have a problem with me saying that about Barry Bonds, we could do a whole show on that. But look, let's take him out of the conversation.
I would like that to
Babe Ruth is better than Willie Mays? There's no way.
No, he's not
just
better.
Based on the competition.
Better than Willie Mays, Hank Aaron.
Just based on the competition, he can't be.
Yeah, Roberto Clemente, Stan Musial. We can name white players too, like Stan Musial, Cardia Strength, Ted Williams. It's not better than any of those guys. Those guys hit black people.
Kevin Taylor says Bonds is a cheater. Show me where and when they found a positive blood test for Bonds. I can show you a positive blood test for A-Rod, for Clemens, for McGuire, for Sosa, Palmaro. The list goes on and on. Show me when they found steroids in Barry Bonds.
Man,
we can't sit here and call people
man.
a cheater if you don't have any evidence. That's like me calling somebody a murderer and ain't nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No evidence.
Like, what are we talking about?
Mike, hold on. What you saying? It's a murder, but there's no evidence.
There's no evidence. What are you talking about?
Dead.
Sounds like
you're like, that's cool. No. I know he's dead. How did he kill him?
Right. Kevin, it sounds like you're going on media narratives because all these other people, they have positive tests. And when you find a Barry Bonds positive test, then, go ahead. They uncovered 100 other players trying to get Barry Bonds. And they got evidence on them.
Barry Bonds is everything OJ was supposed to be.
They drug a trial out 10 to 15 years trying to find something on Bonds. Would you think maybe he didn't take anything? I mean, come on, man. And they still never found anything.
No, no, I don't think you understand. They changed the way that they legislated. They changed the way that they did things to try to nail him.
It's crazy. They said, you took flaxseed oil? Can't do that anymore. Can we say he cheated now?
They changed everything. It's so whack.
Jay Short says, y'all treat Eminem better than rock fans treat Gary Clark Jr. They'll block you for saying that he's the best guitar player now. Jay Short also says, Kevin, including black players, was cheating. Excluding black players was cheating. Ah, man, y'all don't want to get me on this Barry Bonds thing. But anyway.
I want that to be the first show. No. I want to talk about Babe Ruth and Barry Bonds on the very first, according to hip-hop, or according to sports show, sponsored by According to Hip-Hop, whatever the hell it is that we're doing. I want to talk all about that.
Rick Ross says Bonds was already the GOAT in GOAT conversation pre-steroids. He never took anything. Stop saying that, guys. Like, unless you can find me a time when his blood was positive.
No. Before there was any conjecture, we have 3 MVPs, I believe 7 gold gloves, and a 49 home run season before there's any conjecture about steroids. So that alone enough is go look at everybody else in the history of baseball. That's enough to get you in the conversation for greatest player of all time.
I mean,
so he was in the conversation. No, he was in the conversation for greatest. Mike, we are Atlanta Braves fans. We saw him. Mike,
he's by far the greatest baseball player.
He's the greatest baseball player I
you know what?
saw.
And what I want y'all to also look at, and I know people be out there looking at their stats. The man has been walked intentionally like 10 times more than Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron. There was a season where he got walked
No, we're talking about somebody that legitimately could have hit 1,000 home runs.
They took the ball out of his hands.
Every time that they put the ball in his hands, he hit it.
Exactly. So
if they gave him the ball, he hit it.
I'm no expert on steroids, but the way that he was able to connect was otherworldly. He was reading pitches, and I don't know if y'all play baseball out there. I played. He was reading pitches at a level that no one had ever seen before. And, regardless of what you think, and again, ain't no positive test or anything, but even if you think he did that, do you think steroids helps your ability to read pitches or something? I don't understand.
Steroids?
You know what I saw, Coop?
Hold on. Listen. No, I already know, Mike. Steroids does not improve hand-to-eye coordination. Explain to me how he hit 373.
It's not even hand-to-eye coordination totally. This man was reading what was coming. You know what I mean? Like, and the fact that
his mind, yes. But what I'm trying to say is Mike, steroids doesn't allow you to hit 373.
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. Ask Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa.
You're epic when you hit. You know how many guys have hit 373 in a season? Go look at the list. It's extremely short.
And then on
Babe
top of
Ruth's
that,
not on the
Coop,
list.
They wouldn't even pitch to him. I literally saw the bases loaded one
And they
time,
pitched
and
to him,
they
he would've hit 500.
intentionally walked him, and not even on some I'm gonna pitch to you and just with the mindset that I'm just gonna throw it in the dirt. They had the catcher go out there and just
So here's what people need to understand. He's the greatest baseball mind ever. He was literally raised in this game.
Yeah.
His father is an all-star Hall of Fame caliber player. His godfather was arguably the greatest player of all time before he came along. He grew up in this culture. He played college baseball and professional baseball. People have to understand something. He reached a point as a hitter around 1995 in terms of his mastery of the game that had nothing to do with steroids. All right? Like he had reached a mastery of it that had nothing to do with steroids. You just wasn't about to get shit off of him. And so if he did take steroids, the only thing that's inflated are some of the home run numbers. I'm telling you, the zone that he was in, he was still about to hit 40 to 50 home runs and hit over 350. He was in that kind of zone as a hitter. It was a special place only a few people have ever been as hitters, and he was definitely the most powerful person to ever have that type of eye as a hitter.
Oh, definitely.
Steroids don't improve hand-eye coordination.
I'm going to say
Steroids
this.
don't improve hand-eye coordination. That motherfucker hit 373 and 349.
I'm going to say this. As much as the media disliked Barry Bonds for whatever reason, I guess because he didn't kiss ass, if he did this, if he had steroids, they would have found it, guys. They would have found it. I don't think there's anybody in sports that they would want to nail more than Barry Bonds. And we see how long it took them to do that to A-Rod. They let A-Rod coast for like 10 years. And they said, oh, we got a blood test from 2002. You remember that?
A-Rod, hold on, think about it. Barry Bonds is still a pariah, and A-Rod is literally courtside at all the games. Like, when I mean all the games, basketball, football, baseball, commentator on ESPN. And I'm like, man.
Y'all hated A-Rod.
Hold on. I'm thinking that guy without steroids doesn't get to carry Barry Bonds' jockstrap.
Exactly.
What the hell
and this guy actually cheated. But somehow he's everywhere.
Hold on, Mike. This guy cheated and still wasn't as good as Barry.
Yeah. And he still gets all the red carpet treatment. It's wild, right?
It's rolled out.
Mamba RS 400
Griffey
says
Jr. had a better swing than Barry Bonds, and that's about it. Griffey had a better swing. He's a better pure home run hitter than Bonds.
I think Griffey had a better arm than Bonds, because if Sid Bream would have been coming around third with Griffey over there, we would have lost. Mamba says Bonds is undoubtedly the greatest. He was the greatest before the supposed drugs. He literally has 2 Hall of Fame careers in one.
Two.
Brian says
there's the 3 MVP stretch on the first half, and then there's the 4 MVP stretch on the back half. That's what I'm saying. Like, which half do you want? Because I always tell people, it's like, well, the 2 best baseball players I ever seen was Barry Bonds before steroids and Barry Bonds after steroids. Who's in third place? Who's in third place?
Steroids.
Who's in third place?
I mean, because Barry Bonds was that 500 club. He stole 500 bases. That's more so the first part of his career. Brian says
all the 30 for 30 seasons. Like, stop all of that. Just stop all of that. We're Atlanta Braves fans. We played in the division when he won those 3 MVP awards.
They were our rivals.
Watch that guy. I was afraid of that guy.
Brian
that guy
says
can do everything. He can do everything on the field.
Best baseball player of all time.
He can do everything.